everyone, I'm Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel, or welcome back. Now today is Friday Fun Day, and what we're going to do today is we're going to make these Cancer Awareness ribbons with wings. And this was a request from a friend. And the thing about this particular project that we're going to do today is it can be encouraging to you and to others. And even though October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we can make them in any colors that we want to for any awareness. Here's a purple one. Here's one in a brighter pinkish orange color. And what you'll notice is, even though I'm wearing one, you can wear it as a pin, or you can make it as an ornament. And these are great to encourage people, those who are fighting cancer and those who are loving the people who are fighting cancer. I have a chart on the blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. And on that blog is a chart that lists all the different colors of ribbons for all the different awarenesses. Now, there have been a lot added to it since I got that chart. And if there is one that you're looking for that you cannot find on that chart, just Google it or search it, put in the awareness that you're looking for, and the ribbon will come up along with information. All right, so don't feel bad if the person you want to make the ribbon for, the color isn't on there. You can search it and find it, okay? And so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the ribbon and then how to add the wings on. And if you want to make it into a pin and wear it, or add it as an applique to something, say a bag or a scarf, a hat, whatever you want to. And then I'm also going to show you how to add the beads and the hanger so you can hang it on your Christmas tree. So here are some of the awareness ribbons that I have made. And again, there are tons of different colors of awareness ribbons out there. And not just for cancer. There's ones for animal cruelty or spouse abuse and things like that that are out there. All right, so here's some that I made. This one I did in two colors to represent the thyroid cancer ribbon, and I did a blue and a pink, and then I added a little purple butterfly. It kind of looks blue on here, but it's actually purple because the color of the thyroid cancer ribbon is teal, pink, and purple. This is a lavender one, and there are several different causes that use different shades of purple for their causes. And again, pink is the same way. Breast cancer awareness, there are lots of different shades of pink, and then this one is a coral. And the way I'm going to show you this is I'm going to show you the ribbon first. So if you don't want to add the wings on, you don't have to. And you can still use the awareness ribbon. And then I'll show you how to add the wings, the bead here, and then the tie if you want to make it into an ornament. Or they're really kind of fun to give if you're giving, say, a care package, and you can add one of these to the front of the care package or something instead of a bow. So there are lots of ways that you can use these ribbons. So what you're going to need is just a little bit, not even a half an ounce, of two different colors of yarn. And I'm going to make ours today in this pretty pink. And you can see I just have a small amount there. The yarns that I'm using are medium weight, number 4, and I'm going to use the pink for the ribbon and the white for the wings. Now you can make your wings gold or silver or any colors that you want to. Again, use the whatever colors that you've got and make some beautiful ribbons. Now, as far as the beads, these are the beads that I am using. These are the smaller pony beads. And you'll notice I added a butterfly on this one because that represents thyroid cancer. A lot of times they call it the broken butterfly. But you can add a personal touch. You could add, say, a heart bead or whatever that person is into. If maybe a person has lost a pet from cancer or just from something else, you could always add a little dog paw or dog bone. Things like that to personalize your ribbons. I like the smaller pony beads just because they're just a little more petite, but you can use bigger ones if you want to. We're going to be stitching today with our H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a needle for weaving in ends and sewing your bead on there, because you're going to need a bead here or a button. You can always use a button there, and then a couple of beads up here. The amount of beads is up to you. Some of these have 3, and some I add 4, some I add less. Just depends on who I'm giving it to and their personality. If it's a person with a really sparkly personality, and you can add sparkle beads or gold and silver. Just use your imagination. And then of course you're going to need your scissors. The ribbon itself measures about 3 inches by about 1.5 inches to 2 inches across here. If you're going to make it with the wings, it's going to measure about 3 by 3 inches, just to give you an idea of size. All right, so I've got my ribbon color here. I'm going to make my slip knot, and I'm going to chain 24 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 chains for our beginning chain. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2. So we'll go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both loops. So that's 1. And now we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in the next 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 single crochets. Now we have a total of 10 because we stitched 1, and then we stitched 9 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now in the next 3 stitches we're going to stitch 2 single crochets in each of those 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1 and 2. And this is what makes the curve on the top of our ribbon. And now we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those remaining stitches. There's 9 and 10. I'm going to chain 1, pull that out of the way there. And so what we have for row 1 is we have 10 single crochets, then we have 2 in each of the next 3, and then 10 single crochets. So that gives us 26 single crochets. And that's the way that the first row should look, kind of like a long horseshoe. We chained 1, and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to stitch 1 slip stitch in each of our single crochets around. We're going to go right in the first stitch. We'll go in, pull up a loop, then pull that loop through the loop on our hook. So we're stitching 1 slip stitch in each of those 26 single crochets. And this particular row is going to thicken it up a little bit, but also give it a nice edge and help it hold its shape. See how I just moved around the top of the ribbon? We didn't add any extra stitches, just 1 slip stitch in each of the single crochets. All right, onto the last single crochet. There's my slip stitch. We're going to cut our yarn, tie this off, and now we're going to go ahead and take our needle and weave in both our ends. Now, as you look at your ribbon, this is how you'll tell your front from your back. Your front of your ribbon will have that sort of braid that we made with our slip stitches. All right, so we'll turn this over and we'll weave that in. But the truth of the matter is, either side can be the front. It's up to you which side you like better. All right, so I'm weaving this in back and forth. We'll go ahead and cut that string, and then I'll go ahead and do this other end as well. That way it's all nice and tidy and we can move on to the next step. All right, so now we're going to make it look like a ribbon. So we want to cross it across, and it's up to you how far down you want the middle to be. I've threaded on a piece of yarn about 10 or 11 inches. This is my front, so I'm going to come from the back. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail of yarn, and I'm going to go back in, and we're tacking the front to the back. All right, now I want to add that bead, so now I'm going to slide my bead on my needle, and again, if you're choosing a button, you can do a button whatever you want to do at this point. The thing is, when you're making this for somebody else, you want it to be customized for them. All right, use their favorite colors on the beads if you want to. All right, so I put the bead on. I'm going to make a little loop on the back. That's just to give it a little bit of extra support to hold that bead. All right, and then I'm just going to tie a knot. 1, 2, and 3. Now, since this is going to be a pin or a Christmas ornament and probably won't go through the laundry, if you want to add a little dab of your fray check glue, you can put that on that knot just so it will hold for you if you want to, but you don't have to. I usually don't because they hold just fine. All right, so there is the ribbon itself. And if you don't want to add the bead, you don't have to also. Remember, we're customizing it for the person we're giving this to, or even for ourselves. All right, so here's our ribbon. You can wear it as a pin, or you can add it to anything you want to, a hat, a blouse, a scarf, a bag, anything, and it's ready to wear. Just add a safety pin to the back and you can wear it, or sew it onto something as well. But I want to make this into an angel wing. So to add the wings, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top here and see the center 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to turn it over this way and count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and slide our hook in through the 4th. Now I'm not going to go through these loops, I'm going to go through this one. Okay, because we want those loops to show on the front. All right, this is the front of our work for the first wing. All right, so I'm going to bring my white yarn in, or the color you're using for your wing, and we're going to chain 1, and that just gets us where we need to be. All right, so we had those 3, we counted down and put it in the 4th stitch after those 3. All right, so now what we're going to do is go right in that same stitch and stitch 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Now we're going to go to the next stitch and stitch 2 half double crochets. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. And then we'll do that again in that same stitch. Now we're going to go to the next stitch and stitch 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. And now we'll stitch another double crochet. We're going to chain 3. All right, so we have 2 single crochets, 2 half double crochets, and 2 double crochets. Then we chained 3. We're going to turn our work. We're going to skip that next double crochet and slip stitch in the half double crochet. Chain 3. We'll skip that next half double crochet and slip stitch in the single crochet. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll slip stitch in that chain 1 that we made there. Get in there. There we go. All right, so there's our wing. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch in that next stitch. And that's going to help the shape of that wing. I forgot about that little slip stitch. We need to have that. Cut our yarn. There we go. We're going to tie that off, and then we're going to just make a little stitch and pull that to the back. Okay, and I want you to look at it. There's our first wing, and I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot. You can weave this in if you want to, but this is on the back, and so I just go ahead and tie a couple of knots back here. And again, you can add a little fray check if you think that knot's going to come undone. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn your ribbon over, okay? And then you'll count those 3 stitches, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure everything's lined up good here because we want everything to be the same. All right, then you'll go in. You'll grab that yarn, and you'll make this wing exactly the same way as you did the other one. Let me show you again just so you understand. We're on the back side of the ribbon. This one we stitched on the front side. We turned our ribbon over, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we don't want to go in that front loop there. We want to make sure we stay in these 2 back loops. So let me show you when you turn it over so that that loop is showing here like it is over here. All right? Just to make sure you understand. And I want you to eyeball it and make sure your wings are even also. All right, so here is our chain 1. We're going to go in and do the 2 single crochets. 1, 2, then our 2 half double crochets. There we go. 1, 2, then our 2 double crochets. 1, 2, our chain 3. Now we're turning it over. We're on the front side of our work. We'll skip that double crochet and stitch in the half double crochet. 1, 2, 3. We skip the next half double crochet and slip stitch in the single. 1, 2, 3. Then we slip stitch into that chain 1. I'm going to move this string here to the back because we need to slip stitch in this next stitch just to bring our wing down a little bit and cut our yarn. All right, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to tie this off. Then I'm going to look at the front, make sure everything's lined up nicely and looks pretty. All right, I like it, so I'll go ahead and tie that off. I'm going to bring this up a little. And again, if you prefer to weave this in, you certainly can. But I'm tying knots because it's not going to be going through the wash. It's not going to be, handled a lot. It's just a decoration. And so I don't mind adding a couple of knots on the back. I know knots are a no-no in crochet, but when I'm making something like this, I just prefer to use a knot. And again, you can use your fray check, or even if it's going to be inside the house, you can use a little dot of hot glue as well to hold your knot. All right, so now we have an applique that has the wings on it. And again, you can use a safety pin and wear this, like the light pink one that I'm wearing, or you can make it into an ornament. And it's really simple to make it into an ornament that you can hang. So I cut a piece of yarn that's approximately 12 inches long. And I'm going to attach it up here the same way I would when I attach a piece of fringe. So I'm going to go and center in the middle. I'm going to go below this, and that way it's going to hang nicely and not pull on those stitches. All right, so I folded it in half. Move this down a little. I have folded this in half. I'm going to pull that through and then pull that through. All right, so now it's on there. It's the same way we do when we add a piece of fringe. All right, now you're going to have to put both those yarn pieces on your needle. And that can be just a little bit tricky. I'm going to tell you what I do. I put one, then the other. Okay, and then that one's on. I'm going to push it down and then make sure I grab the other going in the same direction. Now once you have both of your strands on, there we go. You don't have to pull the needle way far down. You can decide what beads you want to have on there. And I want to put pink and white and pink and white. I'm using 4 beads this time. Pink, white, pink, and white. All right, then you're going to gently ease those down to the top of your ornament. Okay, or tag. This makes a nice gift tag. Tie a knot so those beads stay where they're supposed to be. Make sure that knot's going to hold nice. And it's okay if there's room. You want them to be able to move around a little bit. Then we're going to move up a couple of inches and tie another knot. And the reason we do that is it gives you something to use as the hanger for the package or Christmas ornament for a tree. And then we'll just cut those ends off. You can fray them out if you want to. I just don't. Okay, and so we've added a hanger. You can hang it directly on something with this, or you can use one of those metal hangers and hang it up somewhere on your tree or wherever. And you know, I just really love these because to me, this type of thing is a way of saying, I care about you, I'm praying for you, I'm worried about you, I'm there for you, to people who are going through difficult situations. Sometimes when a cancer diagnosis comes down, or there's an issue, say a domestic abuse issue, we want to be there for the people that we love, but sometimes we just don't know what to say. And you can put together a care package or, you know, just a note and add this in there and tell them, you know, every time they see this, that you're thinking about them. And I think it could be a real encouragement to those who have lost loved ones, those who are fighting right next to other loved ones, you know, being the strength. Sometimes you need someone just to say, I care. And, you know, no matter what the issue is, this is a way of saying that I care. Didn't that turn out beautiful? I know the second wing is just a little bit tricky because you're on the back side, but it still turns out beautiful and it's super easy to do. No hard stitches, no fancy stitches or techniques, just a beautiful way to say, I'm thinking about you, I care about you, I'm praying for you, and I want you to get better and get well. No matter the issue, like I said, whether it's someone who's lost a pet, someone who's lost another loved one, someone fighting cancer, whatever the issue is, you know, and like I've also said, sometimes we just don't know what to say. And this gives us a way to say, I care.